What's up, my friends? If you are playing FIFA and you're thinking about creative FIFA modes, or if you're just bored with general FIFA that you've played probably 1,000 times by now, that FC26 has come out and you just want something cool and brand new that just entertains you, these are some ideas for you to sort of have a better experience as a manager playing in GM mode in FC. The first one that I've really enjoyed myself is actually in FC26. They have all these new settings that you could actually slide. So you could say, okay, the transfers are disabled, it's active, you could do deeper simulations. So you could play around with all these settings, right? Enable scouting, or you could disable scouting. So you could have like a no scout run. Like you literally can't scout any players. That's so limiting. So it gets more creative about like, okay, how can I find players? If the setting is disabled, you will only be able to bring in players by finding them directly or promoting them from the youth academy. So that means you are limiting yourself to a youth academy run only, right? Every single season, you could change over to a different league. You know, like you don't have to stay in the exact same league every single season. You can get creative and be like, okay, every single season that I play GM mode in, I have to switch to a different country or a different league. Like I can't stay in the same place, like Jose Mourinho, right? So the financial takeover is interesting. This is a brand new feature in FC26. So your team will receive one-off cash injections as a result of a board takeover. So you could say, okay, I'm going to go for League 2 team in the EPL and just give him like $1 billion and see what happens. And then transfer to a different club and just see them rise through the ranks, like in the first league, and just see what happens. That could be quite creative. Or you could just be like, okay, let's give a team I've created myself $1 billion. Let's see what happens. Give the lowest team that has the lowest amount of money $1 billion. Let's see what happens, you know? Disable the youth academy. You can't even use the youth academy. You have to buy players. By turning the youth academy off, then you have to scout for players. And if you're in League 2, then you're in trouble. So then you have to go on the free agents. So you do a free agent only run. So I was thinking about other creative ways that you could do GM mode. So for example, every single season, you have to transfer to another club in that league. I actually did this type of run and I had an amazing time. I went through this full journey of starting in one team, then rebuilding Crystal Palace, then rebuilding Norwich, and then rebuilding all the teams. And then I ended up doing the whole GM mode for 30 years. And it was one of the genuine most fun GM modes I've ever played in my life, going from one team to the next in the same league and just going through each thing. And you go through this random journey because you don't know what jobs are going to be given to you, right? So you're going to end up going in really random directions, and then you're going to go through the highs and the lows. You might get relegated. Okay, then you have to rebuild the team up again and then transfer to the next team. And it was one of the most fun GM modes I've ever played in my life. And then once again, so you could do the youth academy only, but then what you could do also on top of this is only sign players from one country. You could do English only youth academy run, or you could do a Brazilian only youth academy run. And then on top of this, you could only play for that country. So for example, you can manage a team only in the Brazilian league and sign only Brazilian players. So you're really limiting who you can build a team around. And on top of this, you can really mess around with your scouting. So for example, you can only hire 1-star scouts the whole playthrough. Or for example, like your trainers can only be 1-star. And like see what happens. You know, you're limiting what you could do. That could be an interesting way of playing the game. And another great way to actually keep things creative is actually looking into your team formation and really mess around with it. and try doing formations you've never done before in a FIFA GM mode, and you have to stick with a really strange formation. That'd be quite fun. Maybe you do like a diamond only formation, like something like this, where it has no wingers, for example, and you do the complete opposite from what they normally do. So like Liverpool could have a complete opposite formation to how they normally play, and then you have to rebuild the team around a brand new formation that they've never played before, and you have to stick with it within the whole run. And of course, the next thing is going to obviously be a Moneyball run. You would look for players that have high stats in certain areas, but are worth lower because of the overall stats, but because they are overall really good at certain things. Let's say they're a goalkeeper or a defender and they're really tall. Maybe you look at the free agents and then you do a free agent only run. Or you could do the complete opposite and you're not allowed to do any free agent run. Or you could only sign certain free agents from a certain age group. You could only sign the young kids from the free agents. You know what I mean? Like, getting creative like that is quite fun. So let me know your favorite idea. Let me know what type of game that you would like to play yourself. If you enjoyed any of the ideas, let me know. And I'll see you guys next time.